somebody who was in the Rose Garden yesterday celebrating with her colleagues is a friend of the show, Representative Cathy McMorris-Rodgers of the state of Washington. Her new column about her own child and with a pre-existing condition and the health care bill column from Washington Post is posted up at our website at michaelmedved.com. Congresswoman Rodgers, thanks very much for joining us.
Good to be with you, Michael.
Okay, so you were at the Rose Garden yesterday. Here is Donnie Deutsch of MSNBC and Morning Joe Scarborough, commenting about the optics of the celebration yesterday with President Trump.
I want you to look at this picture.
Bunch of middle-aged white guys.
Of a billionaire,
yeah,
surrounded by a lot of millionaires.
Yeah.
They're all middle-aged and older white guys, and they are all going to be facing constituents next year who are going to tell them stories about how they voted to gut their health care, to give the richest 1% in their district tax breaks.
Joe,
now
Joe, you're right. Willie turned to me and said, "Oh, that image yesterday. That's the ad going forward, set against the backdrop. That visual. These guys get $346 billion in tax cuts. School, and what are we looking at? A bunch of fat, middle-aged, rich white guys.
Well, there's a woman in there. She has her head down, though. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if that woman was you?
Well, there were several of us that were there. I think they must be picking and choosing what they saw. And the vote yesterday was really about the House voting to keep its promise to the American people. And yesterday down at the Rose Garden, Diane Black, who's the chairman of the Budget Committee, she spoke. Selma Verma, the new CMS director, she spoke, as well as there were several of the women that serve in the House that were there with the president, the vice president, because we believe that this is so important to getting people back in charge of their health care, not the federal government. That's what this is about, is who's going to be making those health care decisions. And we want to have that be the patient and the doctor making those best decisions.
Now, you wrote movingly today about your own situation with your child with a pre-existing condition and why you are actually reassured if this bill becomes law. Explain.
Well, this is really about trusting people and not the federal government to make the best decisions. And so for me, I want to, as an individual, and for my child that has a pre-existing condition, I want to be assured that there's going to be affordable plans, options available to me. I also know that we maintain protections for those with pre-existing conditions. We made that clear from the very beginning. We were going to guarantee that they would have coverage and that they would be able to renew that coverage, and there would be a prohibition on denying coverage. And so this is really being mischaracterized in the press. It's false, and it's frustrating to see how so many in the media are saying otherwise.
Well, again, one of the things that Bernie Sanders was saying is that 2.5 million Americans who choose to use Planned Parenthood will no longer be allowed to do so. It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, Planned Parenthood, only a small portion of its funding comes from the federal government.
That's right. There's going to be Planned Parenthood. It is a question as to whether or not they are getting any federal grants moving forward. But it's a false characterization, and it's really unfortunate. There's been so much false information, and people are fearful and they're frightened because of the information the false news that they are hearing and being told about what this legislation does. And I just hope that as they actually better understand what the bill does, that they're going to see that this is about empowering individuals, families, getting the decision-making back at the states, creating a marketplace, bringing down premiums, making sure that people have affordable health insurance plans available to them and their families moving forward.
In other words, would I be accurate, Congresswoman McMorris-Rodgers, to say that this bill, in essence, provides new choices and more choices? It doesn't take away choices from people.
Absolutely. You know, it is Obamacare that is the one that's been failing to fulfill its promises. We're seeing premiums continue to increase, the co-pays, deductibles increase, making it unaffordable for people to go to the doctor. You know, it's impacting access because they don't feel like they can go to the doctor. 1 out of 3 counties now in America only have one plan. We've seen the numbers coming out of Iowa this week, where 94 of 99 counties now are going to have no plans available to them. I mean, we continue to see where Obamacare is collapsing.
And part of it, that's all goes to the high premiums. And we still have 20 million Americans who don't have any health care coverage at all, any health insurance coverage at all. This plan is designed to get those people into the health care industry by making the premiums more affordable, right?
Absolutely. And we make health savings accounts available to more. I really believe that is a part of the solution and address some of the barriers for health savings accounts. We do provide a tax credit for some that are seeking in the individual market to get their health insurance. You know, if you get it through your employer, Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, you are getting a tax advantage. You may or may not realize that the federal government is involved in helping cover that cost, and we are leveling the playing field through the tax advantage that you get by getting your health insurance through your employer. Now we're providing a tax credit if you go into the individual market.
Well, that's one of the best parts of this bill. Congresswoman Rogers, I just want you to take the message back to Paul Ryan and Kevin McCarthy and the whole team. There are a lot of us out there who appreciate your courage and your clarity in moving forward with this, and I wish you Godspeed. Thanks for all of your great work. We'll be right back on the Medved Show.
God help me, I'm addicted.